Hey guys, it's Misha and welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to be reacting to Jubilee's new video, Is Being Fat a Choice? And while we have all of these fat positivity influencers who are promoting and glorifying obesity, I am very curious to hear what they have to say. Before we begin though, please make sure you are subscribed and have hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of my videos.
Being fat or skinny is a choice. Agreeers?
Being skinny or being fat is about willpower. It's about the environment you grow up in, sure, but who you choose to associate with, what sort of things you choose to listen to, who you choose to kind of have as your friends around you and support you. All of those things are choices that you can make that will lead you closer towards being one or the other.
I know what I do with my body. I know what I put into it day in and day out. I choose not to eat some days. It's a choice at the end of the day.
I understand that there's genetics that could cause you to want to eat more, but even with the genetics that cause you to want to eat more, the same solution is calories in, calories out.
Sometimes genetics play a role in terms of your metabolism, but mostly it is your lifestyle, your, diet, how often you exercise. Of course, there are rare cases where you have an illness which causes you to gain a lot of weight. So PCOS, hormonal imbalance, hypothyroidism. Also with age, your metabolism tends to slow down, so it might be harder to stay in shape. In most cases, however, I would say that yes, it is your choice. It doesn't mean that it is easy. It takes a lot of willpower, a lot of self-control, but it's a choice.
Disagreeers?
I felt like as a toddler, I always viewed myself as big. I grew up in a very poor home, so where my mom couldn't provide the meals that she could healthily. So when we would get free meals, even then it would be canned food. Reached a point where I was old enough to try to make my own choices. I made all of the wrong choices. I wasn't eating, and I was only eating grapes and lettuce, and that was mainly because I was in a sport, and that sport just worked me out so hard.
Oh, you gotta go work out and exert it. A lot of the things that are typical, oh, this is how you lose weight, put me in the hospital. I have to navigate weight differently. I have to look at it differently. My weight is the way it is because of medication, because doctors put me in this position. And I had to learn, okay, am I going to be so hateful of my own body that I am going to backlash and put myself through extreme gym nights, through keeping myself from eating things that I should be able to eat. You should be able to have a balance. You should be able to go into the junk food aisle like other skinny people do and still not have to worry about gaining 20 pounds.
What do you mean should be able? No. Some people can, eat an entire cake and not gain any weight, and some people can just be around a cupcake and gain 10 pounds. It depends on how your body burns and stores fat. Some people have a faster metabolism than others. So no, if you want to stay in shape, right? It's not like a right you have to eat as much as you want and not gain weight. Some people have to be more careful about what they eat than others.
I think skinny people go into this junk food aisle.
They certainly do.
They do.
I eat a lot of junk food.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, my DoorDash would tell you otherwise.
I mean, they do, but less often.
There's a thing called set points. There's a ton of research on it that your body likes to be at specific weights. It likes to be in a specific way. So if you are fighting yourself to lose weight by not eating, over exercising, and you are damn near killing yourself to be at a specific weight, your body's unhappy.
Okay, so first of all, this is a theory. Let me read this to you, okay? The set point theory is related to homeostasis. The theory posits that the human body has a predetermined weight or fat mass set point range. Various compensatory physiological mechanisms maintain that set point and resist deviation from it. So it's a theory, okay, that you have this predetermined weight range and that your body gets used to it. But even in this theory, it is not fixed. So if you lose weight, your body will then adapt to that new weight. If you do so gradually, obviously, not, go from being obese to, okay, let me eat grapes, lettuce, and ice, that's not gonna work out. This is just kind of silly. The body won't feel good. The body doesn't like it. Okay, will the body like respiratory issues? Will the body like joint pain?
Your body's unhappy.
It's important to note that a choice can be harder for people to make due to conditions in their life, but I definitely still acknowledge that it was my choice. At the end of the day, when I go there and I look and I see, should I order a second hamburger? I'm the one choosing whether or not I order that second hamburger. I'm the one making that choice.
I would rather be skinny than fat.
I have a sister that is very, she's 400 pounds and she struggles a lot. She has lymphedema.
Yeah, see, here is a medical condition where you have fluid buildup in the body, which would make it very difficult to lose weight.
To shower is really, really hard. So I do think for an overall happy life and zero struggle, I think I'd rather be skinny.
I've got 2 kids and a wife, and I'm taking care of them. And as you pointed out, I definitely think that I'm at less health risks if I'm a skinnier person, if I'm a healthier person in that capacity. And I would much rather be that so that I could be around for my kids longer.
Can the disagreeers please step forward?
I'm speaking as someone who actually was a former smaller person. I had the most body insecurities when I was small. I was constantly living in fear of gaining weight and having people tell me, oh, don't gain weight. Once I finally gained weight, I didn't feel any need to not engage in life the previous way that I had.
The problem is you're feeling insecure. It's not so much society's fault, it's what you're feeling like, oh, I care about what people are telling me. They're saying I'm too thin, they're saying I'm too fat. If you know that you're healthy, if your doctor knows that you're healthy, if you feel good, it doesn't matter.
Even as a smaller person, you get negative attention. And rather than trying to control my body to avoid that negative attention, I would prefer to address the situation as a society.
But if you find everything offensive, then that's a you problem. Society's not to blame.
I don't think skinny always equates to being healthy.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
I am fairly skinny. I'm 6'5". I'm 140 pounds last time I checked, and I'm severely underweight.
Usually a healthy weight is somewhere in the middle, right? Not, anorexic and not obese. And of course you can take someone who is skinny and then someone who's overweight. Both of them have the same condition, let's say, right? The person who has a healthy weight, it will definitely make it easier to deal with that health condition. But of course, just because someone is skinny doesn't mean that they have no health issues, or just because someone is fat doesn't mean they have GI issues or diabetes or something like that. But your chances of developing those problems are increased, whereas if you're skinny, you have a reduced risk of developing those chronic illnesses and maintaining good metabolic health and so on and so forth.
I'm the average weight for women in America.
Yeah,
so
We have a problem in America.
if we're talking about an average, I'm going to be the closest. If your biggest priority is to be at a smaller body, you need to reassess your priorities.
Yeah, not focused on health.
Yeah.
In the immediate
Why? What if you're so overweight that it's slowly killing you? Why wouldn't that be your priority? What if you're so overweight that you can't run away if there's danger? That you can't play with your kids? That you're having trouble breathing even? Then that would be your priority.
immediate tie between skinniness and health, like you emphasized, there is such a gap between the research, because the research has a huge fat phobic bias. You can't gauge health by looking at somebody.
Yeah.
Like none of my health issues, all of them precipitated my weight gain, but I always get assumed, oh, don't you want to be skinny so that you don't have a cane anymore and you don't feel the way you feel? And it's like, no, because I have lupus and I'm always going to feel like this.
gonna happen
Like
no
I have
matter
CRPS, it's going to deteriorate, it's going to continue.
Yes, but again, you would decrease your risk of developing other health issues.
America has an obesity problem.
It's pretty clear. You look at the weight of the average American, you see how obesity has affected not just children. I mean, the fact that we have more younger and younger people who are looking heavier and heavier, it's not a good thing. It's an epidemic. It needs to be quashed in some capacity.
And they're encouraging it with media. So
And the
Yes.
mukbangs, I was literally gonna bring that up, the mukbangs and all those videos that just come up to
it's
trends for
insane.
people
Not
to do
only
it.
Oh yeah, the mukbangs or the mukbangs, however you say that. I never understood how they eat so much food.
Now, if I get diabetes, it's gonna be all your fault. Actually, this was my idea. It'll be their fault.
Lizzo and other big media dressing extremely scantily clad and then saying if you don't think that it's normal for a morbidly obese person to be wearing a G-string in the middle of public, then you're the problem.
Now, I don't think anyone should be doing that in public.
Obesity is already normal, so
Well, I don't think it should be normalized, and it wasn't normal
But
just a couple
what's the
decades
difference
ago.
between a obese person, myself, walking around in a G-string or a bathing suit, as I do almost every day, and a skinny person? Is it okay that the skinny person is doing that?
I don't think so, but
I don't think that.
Obviously, you can be any weight and wear a bathing suit as long as you're covering what needs to be covered. The problem is people who are actively trying to glorify obesity, saying there's nothing wrong, there are no health issues associated with this, that's all a myth, that's all because of systemic oppression and fat phobia. That's ridiculous.
I'm a print and runway model. I have walked down a runway in a thong. So me doing that is shameful, but a skinny model is okay.
I don't know if I use the phrase shameful,
Problematic.
but I don't think that we as a society should be modeling obesity.
But I'm not modeling obesity, I'm modeling the lingerie that obese people need to be able to have availability to buy.
So they've always had the ability
No,
to buy
we have not.
lingerie.
If you go to Torrid,
No,
a single
we
underwear is
cannot.
almost $20.
Yeah.
and you go to like any other Walmart, any Target, and like all these underwears are on special for like $5 to like $20 and stuff.
Well, it
and
does
it's,
take
like,
more fabric to make it.
You need more material to make the extra, extra, extra large than a small. So obviously it will cost more.
For 3XL shirts, I got to pay more money.
I don't see it as a problem. I do feel like health-wise, people should try to be healthier, but there's no perfect body. There's no perfect person. There's no perfect size. I really don't see it as like a problem.
Yeah, no, it is a problem. It's a problem that more and more Americans are suffering from obesity and all the problems that are associated with that. Sleep apnea, decreased mobility. There aren't a lot of obese, grandpas and grandmas around. Hormone imbalances, infertility, the list goes on and on. So no, it is a problem.
So somebody brought up the food desert earlier. I can't even think of an area that would have a so-called food desert.
Sorry, can someone explain, like maybe just for my ignorance, I'm guessing a food desert is just there's no food anywhere?
No, it's healthy options for food. So you can go into certain low-income areas and you'll see a Starbucks, a McDonald's, a Chick-fil-A, but there's no Trader Joe's.
You don't need a Trader Joe's. Any grocery store will do. Actually, even if you need to go to McDonald's or Starbucks, they have healthy options, right? Like I'm pretty sure at McDonald's you can get apples or you can get oatmeal. They have salads. Same thing goes for Starbucks. They have some healthier options. You don't have to get fries. You don't have to get a burger.
There was grocery stores where I grew up. Just because we lived in the middle of nowhere, it doesn't mean we didn't have access to food. And actually, and I have to agree, we did have access to healthy food. Very healthy food all the time. I don't think this is a big of an issue in my personal opinion.
Fat shaming is worse than skinny shaming.
The way that people like comment on people's weight compared to somebody's skinny, they usually don't comment on somebody's skinny. They'll maybe say like, oh, you're very thin. Do you want to eat a cheeseburger? But that's not as bad as telling somebody you eat 10, stop. And you don't even know that they're eating 10.
No, it's the same thing. People say, hey, you're so fat, eat a salad, or you're so skinny, eat a burger, And now that we are actually normalizing being overweight, it's kind of the opposite where more skinny people are getting hate.
Fat shaming is a systemic problem. You're not gonna not get a job because you're too skinny. I get a lot of comments on my Instagram that are saying like, you're really beautiful, but you would look a lot better if you lost 50, 60 pounds.
So that's kind of to be expected online. To please all is to please none. Okay? So do what makes you proud of yourself, what will make others who care about you proud of you, and stop caring about what user 123 said. And if you can't not care about that, then don't put yourself out on the internet.
Something that I always get a lot of comments on is my masculinity. My favorite comment is always I look like a sickly, ill Victorian child. And
That's horrible.
Sorry, don't mean to laugh at that.
No. I don't. It doesn't bother me as much. But this idea that skinny people can't also get these kind of comments are just kind of mind blowing.
You're too thin. You're too fat. You're too quiet. You're too loud. You cannot please everyone. That's impossible. Also, let's say if you're overweight and someone tells you you're overweight and you know that's true, why would you be upset if it's true? Or if you are not overweight and someone's telling you you are, why would you be upset if it's not true?
Well, you could argue that shaming somebody in order to motivate them towards a healthy lifestyle is actually a good thing.
I don't think that shame is the right word. I think you can sit down with someone and say, hey, I'm worried for you. Like, you're not eating enough, are you okay? Or you're eating too much, That could be harder if you're doing it to a random person on the internet. If someone says, hey, you're a fat ass, you need to go work out, or you look anorexic, like eat something, versus you look underweight, or you look overweight, like genuine concern, right? There are different ways to approach that. So some people can react like, oh yeah, these people are right, this may be very harsh, but I gotta work out. But some people can look to food for comfort and they can say, oh, they're right. I can never lose weight. Might as well just eat the entire bag of chips. So it depends. The people in my life who I'm very close to are not easily offended. And so we are kind of brutally honest with each other. It's all in good fun though. And it's not meant to actually like hurt the person. But still, like if, someone's getting chubby, they'll know. Right? Or if someone's a little too skinny, they'll know. So, but that's with the people you're very close to.
I don't think we should shame anyone to do anything.
No.
I think everyone deserves to like themselves enough to like enjoy life. It's not my business.
Yeah, well, you could say, oh, drugs are hurting people, but that's none of my business. It's all good. No. Like, if there's an obvious problem, we have to address it.
Is somebody looking at me and saying, don't you want to be around for your kids? And that worked.
I don't think
that
that's
worked.
shaming.
Yeah, like, do you
I think
consider
that's-
that shaming?
I do. I think that's shaming. I think they were telling me like you should lose weight to be around for your children. I think that worked. That really encouraged me to go to the gym and start trying to lose weight.
I get the question of actually looking like a woman all the time, and it's always in play. I always get compared to like male characters, especially when I don't wear makeup, and that's because I don't have boobs. And I can't help that, but it's definitely really, really hard to like have people tell you constantly, like, here's the standard of how a woman should look and you don't look like that.
And we cannot look to society to tell us what's the perfect body, because that's always changing. Very curvy bodies, that was like the most beautiful a woman could be. And then not too long ago, you had to be almost anorexic to have the perfect body. That's always changing. Are you healthy? You're feeling good? You have energy? You don't have any health problems? Then calm down.
I can see what you mean. Sometimes it can really motivate you when it's out of love,
Yes,
but when it's out
that's
of
the
pain,
difference.
and when it's out of like not knowing someone
Yeah.
and just saying it, then
Diet culture has positive effects.
We all have a diet. For example, when you go to the doctor, they ask you, hey, tell me about your diet. What are you eating, right? I don't think there's one size fits all. I think that some people will want bigger portions based on how tall they are, for example, their gender, their age. Some people are picky eaters, like me. And so, of course, it all depends.
I think that diet culture is a reason that a lot of people struggle with weight problems in the first place. So you go from one extreme and then you break, and then you go to the other extreme. And so, like, I was in my extreme, I broke, so that's why I'm anti-diet culture.
I'm very, grateful for the fact that I grew up in a family that never encouraged counting calories or anything like that. You eat till you're full, unless of course it's an absurd amount of food. But basically, generally speaking, you eat till you're full and you're eating healthy foods. And of course, exercise. Make sure you're getting all your vitamins, things like that, just common sense. And in most cases, I think that's all you really need to do.
there's different ways to motivate people, and one of them is out of pain and anger. And I feel like a lot of the diet culture, whether it's for positive or negative, is just trying to gear into that. And I just am more about being healthy.
So I thought that was a good conversation. I am, of course, surprised with the amount of people who deny the fact that trying to normalize obesity is harmful, especially considering all of the health risks associated with being obese. It's almost like Big Pharma wants people to keep getting sicker, so then they can sell their drugs and their injections and surgeries and all of that, even to children, that then they'll have to rely on those drugs for the rest of their lives, instead of encouraging eating a healthy, balanced diet. Working out. No, it's easier to sell you this magic pill instead of, again, changing your lifestyle to avoid these very preventable chronic illnesses. I would love to hear what you guys thought about this, so please make sure you comment below. Also remember to subscribe and hit the notification bell, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye.